What's going on, guys? My name is McRaptor, and I want to talk about something crazy that you guys probably didn't think was possible before watching this video right here. There are a ton of challenge runs that people do in Dark Souls and Bloodborne. Obviously, the games are already tough, but players have found ways to make them even tougher, right? People go through games and they play fist only, they do torch only, they do deathless, they do this, they do that. Of course, the Happy Hob in 2016 came up with the idea, what if I go through the whole game without taking hits from bosses or enemies, basically playing through the game perfectly? And of course, Hob did just that, and there's been several hitless runners that have done it since him. But I've got somebody out here who not only is the first woman to ever do a hitless run, she is the first and only hitless runner that I'm aware of that's done it with only one hand. So this is not one of those meme like Dance Dance Revolution challenge runs in Dark Souls, right? This is some real shit. She was born with only one hand, and she didn't let that stop her. She jumped in and she saw what was being done in these challenge runs, and she wanted to do it. And that's exactly what she did in the game of Bloodborne. She went through the entire game of Bloodborne with only one hand without getting hit by any bosses or enemies. Absolutely crazy. In this video here, we are going to interview this woman, this amazing person, GoesonGhost. She's in one of our tournaments this week in Bloodborne. She is competing against some of the best hitless runners out there in the entire game. Let's talk to Ghost. Welcome on in, everyone. I am McRaptor. I host a lot of tournaments on Twitch. If you're coming in from YouTube, you've seen them on the channel. They're fun things. Watch them all, great competitions, etc. But behind all of these tournaments are people, and the tournaments are no good without good people. And I could do all the magical stuff in the world to try to like get people together and do all the overlays and all that kind of stuff, but none of that matters if we don't have competitors and fun people to watch. And I want to highlight on this interview here somebody that you need to know, and her name is GoesonGhost, and she joins me right now. Ghost, welcome on in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
So to start out, why don't you tell us a little bit about your content on Twitch? And if you guys don't know, you can follow Ghost, twitch.tv/GoesonGhost. We'll have all the links, everything out there, but she's a Twitch streamer. But what do you do? Like, how did you get started? What types of content do you like?
I discovered Twitch through actually Democracy, who does a lot of boss rating videos on YouTube. I'm sure many people are familiar with him, and he also streams. So he was like the first streamer I found on Twitch, but he was starting to branch out into more variety stuff, and I wanted to stick with Soulsborne. So I was just like looking through the viewer list on like who is doing whatever Soulsborne related stuff, and just stumbled upon Milty and followed him up.
Milty, the accomplished Demon Souls hitless runner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you got into that and you thought, I'm gonna do hitless content too because it looks fun.
Yeah, it was it was more after he hosted up Donnie Wrecked that was when I was really starting to see like watching more and more of actual hitless runs, and thought, yeah, this looks hard as hell, but I think this also looks fun.
So after reaching Twitch, Milty and Donnie Wrecked were like your inspirations, like to do all this.
That and Slippery Susie as well.
Susie, okay. And you know what I think is so great about that is that most people in this community would probably say like the Happy Hob or Squillakilla or Frozcon or K Witty, but
yeah,
you found.
I didn't find those out until way later.
That's wild, and that's the beauty of Twitch is that you find people through other people, and then you make these great connections that shape everything you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you do hitless, and we're gonna excuse me, I'm dying here. We're gonna talk a little bit about the runs that you do, and there's a lot of amazing things about you. But one of the first things that people notice, and you can kind of see on screen here, guys, maybe.
With a tiny cam.
But one of the first things that people notice physically about you is you only have one hand.
Yep, I was born without it.
So not only are you doing these challenging runs, and you're one of the few female runners anyways. In fact, the first female runner on Team Hitless, right?
Yep.
So you've got that going for you, but you do it with one hand.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Thank you.
I mean, if you're in chat right now, or if you're watching this video, that's wild to me. Like, that's just out of... yeah. So how has this shaped your life and your content on Twitch?
Well, I've always been like, you know, since I like was born without one hand, I've always had to learn how to like adapt to different situations in life.
Sure.
And that's, I feel like that has like that influenced my like disposition to like enjoy challenging like material, like, and trying to figure out like how to accomplish something.
Sure.
So, and I've always enjoyed video games ever since I was a kid. So, and I don't how it shapes my content on Twitch. It's hard to say because to me, it's just I'm just playing video games, and
you're just playing games you like to play, right?
Yeah.
In the only way that you can, and you've obviously had to adapt, right? But
yeah,
you didn't let that stop you from playing these great games that you love to play so much.
I don't know.
That's amazing. Like, I don't know how I would adapt to that. Like, I always blame my like mid-30s brain on why I can't do what you guys do. Right? But what you've had to deal with is just so much different, and it's just absolutely wild to me that just what you've done, and then how competitive you've been so far in this tournament. I just don't know what I'm like breathless. Like, I have nothing more to say other than you're just amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Well, there you go. And so the interview would be done, but it's not. We've got a lot more to jump into. So we've addressed the issue, the thing that people probably know about you best, but I want people to know other aspects of you too, because that's just one component. That's just how you're born. Like a lot of people, we're born with different things that challenge us, and that's fine and good, but that doesn't define who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So you got that early inspiration from some of these runners, and then you overcome the obstacles that you had physically. What's it like working on these runs for you, and how do you handle the mental and physical stress of practicing these runs?
I'd say like maybe like 80% of the time they're pretty fun, like 80 to 90. The 10% is like the only time it's not fun is resets, but I think every no-hit runner can agree with that.
No fun. Yeah.
Yeah. How do I handle the physical and mental stress?
Yeah. Do you have physical stress that you think is different than others just because of the way that you have to play, or do you feel like you're in the same boat?
I feel like I'm in the same boat. I guess there's a chance that I could like over stress my hand out because, you know,
Sure.
It has to do literally everything else while also playing video games. It actually kind of feels a little sore right now, but
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully
But
you can rest up before tomorrow.
Yeah. But mentally, I really just try not to be too hard on myself when it comes to like these runs. Like, you know, every hit is either like a learning hit, a meme hit, which is still kind of usually disguised as a learning hit because you can usually still avoid them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just make mistakes because you're human, and you gotta accept that too.
I like your perspective on the learning hits. Oftentimes I find people want to dismiss certain hits as memes, but most of the time it can be managed with better positioning or better strategies, better knowledge, right?
Yeah. That happened today.
Right.
I got trapped by a dog and tried to shoot him, and we were like next to a wall and hit the gunshot hit the wall instead of the dog, even though the dog was right in front of me.
And the only thing that you can do, right, is just
not be in that corner anymore.
Yeah, and you can take an approach where it's like, oh, well, that's a meme. Or you can take the approach where it's like, I'm going to minimize that. And that's an interesting mentality you have, because it's very close to your matchup tomorrow, Squillakilla.
Yeah.
You may have heard of him before. I know you came on, you saw Donnie first and so forth, but Squilla's kind of a big deal in hitless.
Yeah, I definitely know that now.
He's probably the number 2 most known behind Hob. Hob, of course, did the first run, so it's hard to not think about Hob when you're thinking about hitless. But besides him, Squill is probably the most known behind that, and he's absolutely legendary. He's a winner of multiple tournaments now. He's got multiple world firsts, world records. He's very speedy as well.
Yep.
How does it feel being matched up again?
I am nervous. Like, I am extremely nervous.
Yeah.
That's a real big deal.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't feel like I have like no chance to win either. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like I'm just gonna do the best I can to make sure it's like a good match throughout the entire time. Like, so.
Yeah.
I think that's the best I can. Well, the best I can get is to win, obviously. But the other stuff I feel like, but actually having a good show is more in my control than that, I think. So that's what I want.
Well, at the end of the day, right, you're trying to go perfectly through the game without taking hits from bosses or enemies. You're not technically against your opponent. I mean, you've got that in the back of your mind, but you're playing against yourself.
True.
You have to be the best Ghost can be tomorrow, not better than Squilla. You just have to be your absolute best.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think based on what I've seen so far, when you're on the top of your game, you can beat anybody in this tournament. Even K Witty, he's still out there in chat. K Witty's a monster in this game. But even he's not perfect. Everybody has a bad day, right? I haven't seen you have one yet in a tournament, but you've only had one match, so
yeah.
And I don't want to see it either, because I think you're one of the favorites out there. I think people see it as an underdog, maybe just because they don't know what you can do yet. But that's part of this interview, is to let people know that you're not an underdog, that you're a real threat, and you do some amazing stuff, and people should check you out. So if you haven't already, guys, make sure you follow her on Twitch, GoesonGhost. Oh boy! So you've got a big matchup tomorrow. How are you expecting to prepare for the match? Are you going to practice a lot? Are you going to give your hand a break? Maybe some mental prep? Do you do yoga? Like what do you do?
Actually, even before the qualifier on Monday, I think it was, I went for about a 30-minute jog before streaming, and that helps a lot. So I think I'm probably going to do the same thing. I'll try to. The internet dude is going to be here at 10 a.m., so we'll see.
Oh my God, we need the internet to work.
Yeah, I really do.
Your match is. I'm excited to see everything tomorrow, but I really want to see your match. I think your match is going to be the highlight, and so yeah, hopefully that all works out, and the internet RNG gods are in your favor.
Yeah.
Just in terms of your content on Twitch, well, first off, how long have you been streaming now?
It's a year.
Okay, it's a solid point in time. It takes a little bit of time, of course, when you're streaming to kind of get into a groove and figure out what you're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
So now that you've got a kind of a better idea what this is all about, you've done some great runs. What are some of the big things that you'd like to accomplish on the platform?
I want to complete my arcane no-hits in Bloodborne. I'm still got all vanilla bosses to complete, and then all content, which is not what I would call a viable run, but I'm still going to do it. And then I hope to incorporate chalice dungeons into my no-hits as well.
Chalice dungeons will be sweet. Dude, Twitch chat has been asking for chalice dungeon content in hitless for like forever.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be amazing to see. There's some great bosses in there, right?
Yeah.
What are some of your favorites?
I really enjoy Bloodletting Beast.
Mm-hmm.
I maybe not in terms of like the battle itself, but I really do like Yharnam, Thumerian Queen. It's like, just I guess from a lore perspective, I like that she's the last one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think there's great stuff in there. I wish it weren't locked behind all this grind, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. So before we wrap up here, I just want to give you an opportunity. Is there anyone out there on Twitch or otherwise that's been particularly supportive of you and your content? Someone you want to mention, or a few people? When I asked Viking this question, I think he like rattled off like 30 people or something. So feel free to go as long or short as you want.
I mean, like virtually everyone in Team Hitless. Like, let me try.
It's just like 60 people now or
Donnie
something. Yeah.
Slippery Susie, Mogan Kai, Colmer, Gimme Dopamine, and people that are working towards Hitless at the moment, like Super Tachi, Blind Bags.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I always feel bad with these kind of questions because I don't want to forget people, but there's so many.
Yeah, no, it's okay. No one's forgotten. It's just our brains can only carry so much info at the right time, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ghost, is there anything else that you want to say before we log off and we give you some time to rest up and kick some ass tomorrow?
I'm excited for tomorrow's tourney. That's really all I can say. It's as long as like the Wi-Fi gods are on my side, it should be a good show. I feel like that's for certain.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, Ghost, thank you very much for your time here. I think this was a great intro. I actually would like to do a follow-up, kind of short one with you. If you take it all the way to the end, you get to the finals.
Yeah,
I'd like to hear what your thoughts are then. So good luck tomorrow. I'm rooting for you. I can't rig the race, guys.
Of course
don't
not.
think I'm rigging, okay? But I love Squill like everybody else, but I'm rooting for Ghost here. You got a great story. You've worked hard. It's your first tournament. It's a Cinderella story, very similar to Viking Baruda's, and I just love those things. Yeah. So good luck, Ghost, and I'll see you at the next match.
All right, thank you.
All right, I'll see you later, guys. That was GoesonGhost. Thank you very much for checking out that short interview there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We do want to do more things like this when we can. In particular, I think if you think about the gaming blogs out there like Kotaku and Polygon and all that, they make videos about people that they make videos about people who play Dark Souls with a Dance Dance Revolution pad, and I think that's like cool and what have you. But I think we can do better than that. I think that there should be a story out there about Ghost and the cool stuff that she's done, given all of the adversity that she's had to overcome. I'm personally amazed, just floored by what she's done, and why there isn't an article about Ghost. I have no freaking clue. So I'm going to make that my personal mission to try to get that out there. So please support her in any way that you can, and thank you guys very much for being here. Yeah, I know Kotaku and Polygon. No, I get it. They just have clickbait stuff. I get it, but like the point is, guys, that like there should be stories out there about amazing things that content creators are doing, not stupid who cares stories. That's all I'm saying. Or you can have stupid who cares stories as long as you have the good stories too. So we just want to have a balance of both. Anyway, I'm gonna jump off my soapbox though, because I try to stay fairly impartial on these types of things. So thank you guys for watching the matches today. I hope you enjoyed the interview as well. We will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. EST. I hope to see you there. Thank you to everybody who has supported the prize pool and the GG League. We got lots of big stuff coming your way. So thank you guys. Have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.